it's Olivia, and I'm going to share with you some of the books and movies or shows that I watched in the past month. The first book I have is not a novel. It's a Sudoku. I know this shouldn't count, but it's been a favorite this past month. I've been doing it a lot more, and I'm trying to get to where I'm doing, like, you know, the super difficult ones. Does anyone else like Sudoku? Next, I mentioned in my last video I'll be reading a lot more children's books, but the one that I've been reading over and over again this month was Where the Wild Things Are, because it's one of my main reads for my class, and I read it to my sister and my mom and then my nephew. Like, I've just been reading this all the time, and so if you want to talk about this in the comments, I could go into like deep discussions about it. The next book I read was Scythe by Neil Shusterman, and I'm so happy I got to this finally, because this is my first book I've read by him since Unwind, and you should know by now that that's like the book I love to recommend to everyone. It's one of my favorite books and book series ever. I feel like it's so underrated, but yes, I thought that this was another great start to a series. I feel like Thunderhead, the sequel, is going to be better, so I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars, and I posted a full review of all my thoughts. Next, I listened to the audiobook for Astrophysics for People in a Hurry by Neil deGrasse Tyson. This, I also gave this one 4 out of 5 stars. This was interesting. So this is like a book for me. Like, this is definitely something I was interested in, and I really enjoyed listening to it, but I will admit that there was many times where I was rewinding it like 6 times. When he talks about things or like terms and jargon that I just completely don't know about, that's when I was like rewinding it over and over again. But I was surprised by how much I did know. Like, I've taken a lot of chemistry classes, so when he did the chapter where he was talking about the elements in the universe, like the periodic table, I was like, ooh, this is up my alley, because I love learning all about the elements in the periodic table. And then also terms like dark matter and dark energy, I just looked those up out of like curiosity, but it was really good. But like I said, there are some moments where I was rewinding it over and over again to get an understanding, but it's something I can see myself listening to over and over again. Like, I really like listening to his voice in the car. If you're interested in astronomy, I would recommend this. And like it says, it's Astrophysics for People in a Hurry. There was another audiobook that I read this month, and this was my least favorite read, honestly, in a little while. I didn't finish it, and that is You Can't Touch My Hair by Phoebe Robinson, and I was so surprised by the fact that I didn't love this one either, because I really thought it was going to be that book like for me. Even the title, I was like, okay, I have high hopes. I had such high hopes going into this one. It just felt like she was trying so hard to be funny. I feel like that sounds really mean. I don't know. I was looking at some of the reviews, and people were saying that they kind of wish that they'd listened to the audio, but I'm thinking I maybe should have done it the other way around, because I just wasn't a fan of how she was narrating it, and just the way she went about discussing certain topics, I wasn't a fan. This last book that I read this month was my favorite, and not only my favorite of the month, but my favorite in a while. Just as I kept reading, I was just thinking 5 stars. Like, it was the easiest 5-star rating that I've given in a while. Even books that I really loved and enjoyed, like Scythe, I didn't give 5 stars. Like, if there's even one thing that I can really critique about a book, I don't give it 5 stars. 5 stars are really special to me. Like, they are the ones that are just exceptional. Like, they wove their way into my heart, and that is what Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng is to me. This book, oh my gosh, I love this book so much, and I can't describe it that well. It's so different and unique to me. At least it was just such a different reading experience. I was reading this for like 3 weeks, and I kind of wish I read it even longer. The first half of it, I was just like, every single paragraph I was just taking in, because her writing is beautiful. So it became like my book that I would read before I went to sleep, or when because I get to classes really early, it'd be my book that I read in like the 15 or 30 minutes before class. Like, I love taking it with me and reading it at like every single day. And then the other day I sat down in the library and I was like, I'm gonna read another chapter. And I couldn't stop. I could not stop, and my class was canceled that day too, and I sat there for easily like 4 hours and I just finished this. So that's it with the books, and I wanted to talk about 2 movies that I saw. The first one was Coco. This came out last year, but I only just now saw it, and I'm so glad that I caught it when it was still in theaters, because oh my gosh, it is so beautiful. Coco by Pixar is stunning. Even just the animation, because you know Pixar always just blows it out the water, but I was sitting there watching as they took steps onto the pedal bridge that takes them into like the afterlife, and I was just like, it's so beautiful. Everything. I was staring at it like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. The music was stunning. Like, it deserves all the awards that I'm sure it's gonna get. I think it was it nominated for Best Animated Film? I'm sure it was. Everything about the Day of the Dead and how it's celebrated and how they went about showing that, it was just so beautiful. That's all I can describe this movie as. It was just beautiful, and I was so happy I caught it in theater. The other movie that I saw was the film adaptation for Still Alice, because I did read this like 2 months ago, and I really enjoyed it. It's a heavy read. It's sad, and the movie is like, it's just like the book, and it felt the same way, and I thought they did a really good job of adapting it, but again, very sad. So that's where I'm going to end this. The lighting is getting all janky because the sun is running away from me. And then as for TV shows, I've just been rewatching The Office forever. I just cannot get enough of that show. Specifically season 2. This past month I've been watching like the same episodes over and over again. But yeah, let me know how your month in reading has been, what your future reading plans are, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.